All right, everyone. So while Mr. Arne is getting connected to Facebook, here we are. My name is Alex from Breathing Cold, and I love to inspire people to connect with incredible humans that are bringing different perspective to the breath. And that's really what I want. I really don't want to tell you one way of going about it. I love connected breath. I love Wim Hof. I love Buteiko. And I love just to have all this perspective of all these incredible humans. And now you can close it. I want to tell you one way of going about it. I love connected breath. I love Wim Hof. I love close the Facebook.
I did.
Okay, and now we are back. Welcome, Arne. How are you doing? Where are you located?
I am in Costa Rica, in the jungle. So I'm in a very secluded place, a safe place on the planet. Feel very fortunate. I ended up here for now, 7 years, and it's very peaceful. There is no hysteria. There is like secluded.
My dad once went to Costa Rica and he had a dream for me to open a butterfly farm. And I considered doing a butterfly farm in Laos, where I lived before, because apparently Costa Rica is the home of the most incredible butterflies there are. And I do love butterflies. So what a blessing.
We had one just here on our mountain, a butterfly, what they call it. Well, a place with hundreds of them, and people come and visit and look at them and how they grow and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
And as we talk about butterflies, one thing that I love when I breathe is to actually be in nature and just catch the rhythm of nature. You know, we are animals, and when we are in nature, we kind of feel into the environment and whatever is there. So maybe you will catch a butterfly and breathe with a butterfly. Do you practice that in nature?
No, because for me, the breath work is an internal experience. And, you know, we have the topic subject. I'm the subject. Object is the external world. I am not the external world. I can observe the external world. But the only thing I see in the external world is my projection of what it is. I might like it or don't like it. I have nothing to do. I like it, you don't like it, but the external world is the same. It's only my own projection. So I'm working on my inner projection to have it, to be in charge of that, to own that. Because one of my bases is really to not have suffering. You know, suffering sucks. You know, I got pain, oh shit, no, I don't like that. So motivation, how can I be not having suffering? Well, you know, I'm going to change the outside world. I tried that for many years. You know, stop being so bad to me. Stop being angry. Stop doing this to me. Stop doing this to me. I have to do what I want, blah, blah, blah. It never, especially with my life, never. You know? So I had to go inside and see, oh, the world is more like a mirror. Like what I see is what I'm focused on. I focus on. It's so logical, you know. I want to see a good world. I don't want to see this bad thing. I don't want to see this. I want to get rid of this. I want to live in a world where this doesn't exist. But the result is, this is where I am. This is what I see because I'm holding on to it. So if I don't want to have this, I have to look somewhere else. You can't focus on something and expect a different result.
You know, your session that we did in the teacher training that I did last time really impacted me in a big time. And really it's 5 words that you said that really stayed with me and really impacted me. And it's your whole approach around natural breathing. It's called get out of the way. And you know, this is interesting because I practice, and I mentioned at the beginning, I love all forms of breath work, and I go there with an intention of, getting to an altered state of consciousness, of doing my morning routine to center myself. And I do feel that doing these breathing techniques help me because I'm doing something. But your approach, which is actually to do the opposite, says, maybe your mind is getting in the way of what's going on in the body, and what's going on when you're actually get out of the way, when your thoughts are not coming into play. And I found that a fascinating perspective, and I've used that many, many times. I now use the Heart Math Institute sensors that I put on my ear to check my heart rate variability. And really that idea is, slowly to walk your way towards getting out of the way, which is that going to that coherent breathing, that's connected breath in a very, relaxed way, 5 breath in, 5 breath out. But I think eventually you want to train yourself to do that naturally, where you don't have to do it anymore. It's re-educating yourself. Can you tell us a little bit more about your approach?
Yeah. So when you sigh or when you jog, you start jogging, do you have to train yourself to breathe the way you do when you're jogging? No. But you can train yourself to not breathe like that and say, okay, I'm jogging very well now, so now I'm going to start to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth in a rhythmical way. But that's a mental concept. That doesn't happen in life. So I want to get to an altered state. I'm not unfamiliar with altered states, I tell you. Probably no more than anyone. Came from the hippie time, full-fledged, all of that. So I wouldn't be here without that. So I'm very grateful for that and enjoyed it immensely. But the altered state, who says that is better than, who says that present time is not an altered state already? So the altered state, the enlightened state can only be lost by trying to create the enlightened state. We already got it. Well, no, wait a minute, I'm going to create it. You can't create what you already have. So it becomes a merry-go-round, it becomes a trick of the ego to, when you get, and the funny thing is, you never get there. Just one more thing. If you do this, I promise you get there. But just a little bit more. You're almost there, but you never get there because you're already there.
What comes up to me when you say that is that concept of healing, where you're on that healing journey and then you're doing the work and all that, where you are already healed. It's just for you to realize. So I think that really can help shift because if I tell my brain, my body that I am healing, all means there is something wrong that I'm fixing. But if I come to a place that says I'm healthy, I'm okay, everything is perfect, this is the message that I'm sending to my body now. And so I really, it does make sense completely. And for me, it's really changing the way I was related to it, where I was happy I was doing the work. I was staying on all the triggers. And so,
of course, the ego loves it. The ego loves it. It got something to do, something to get somewhere. If you're a good boy, you'll get that. But if you really look at the truth, if you cut yourself and you start bleeding, and you don't tell yourself, okay, now I'm gonna heal myself and stop bleeding. If you don't say that, you stop bleeding anyway.
Okay, but Arne, this is not easy, right? Doing nothing is harder than doing something. So it's easier for people to do something. If I tell you sit and meditate, you have to do nothing. It's really hard. So people, including myself, when we have to do some kind of breathing pattern, we have a job to do. So it's easier, and
right.
we feel that we're getting somewhere in another way. So tell us, what is the journey? How do you get there?
You say easier to what? Easier to heal, easier to be happy. So okay, I'm not happy. Now I need to become happy. Okay, I'm gonna create myself happy. Now I am in in the pursuit of happiness, but I'm not in happiness. If I just drop everything and see what is here and smell the roses, wow, it's already here. So the purpose of wanting to get there, there is a purpose for that. It's the defense mechanism. It's the ego's way to protect us from encountering a trauma, a subconscious material, things we don't like. So when I surrender, I yawn, or I sit in the couch in the evening and, okay, my work is over, I'm gonna sit there and I get this wonderful, pleasurable sigh because I'm not doing anything. But if I try to sigh.
I get all that, Arne. But you're there, and that was a journey for you to get there, I assume. So my question to you is, you know, what is the journey? Because yes, it all makes sense, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. How do you, I mean, it's easy, but not simple. Because most people, we're struggling to shut up the noise in our head, the monkey mind, and getting busy and the ego. So the question is, how? Not so much where, but how do you do that? What was your journey, and what kind of tips can you give to people to get there?
Well, I don't know. Maybe my background as a Tibetan Buddhist monk helped with that a little bit. But it takes courage. My monkey mind, who says that's bad? Who says this monkey mind needs to go away? It is the ego talking. Now, if you really do nothing, then you will face more energy. When you face more energy, you will be more alive, you will be more experiential. But the last time I was that experiential, I got traumatized. So now when okay, I'm just gonna do nothing, okay, and let God, whatever you call it, take care of me. I'm just gonna sit here. And then you start to feel more and more alive, like with breathwork. I feel more and more alive. Oh shit, now what? My God, I don't know if I can trust this much passion, aliveness. I don't know if I can trust the life force, because last time I had it, shit hit the fan. So I don't trust it anymore, you know, through growing up and traumas and all that. So that's how we keep the trauma locked up, but it is like a chain and ball on our ankles, so we can't live fully. So it takes courage to experience the heightened experience we had before the trauma arrived and leave the label behind. Okay, I'm sitting in the room here, everything is nice, and we're having a good chat. Somebody come running into the room, hey, something's going on. And I go, what? And now I implanted a trauma. So next time, it's like, oh, okay, everything is fine. But next time, somebody come running into the door, or next time I feel that much aliveness, I will bring out the old record, the old label of, oh, something is dangerous. So then I go up to defenses. Instead of being conscious and present, when the door opens and I feel more alive, I don't have to call it something that I don't like. So the labeling we put on stuff is the problem, not the energy. The energy, the life force, aliveness is passion, is excitement, is life, health, success, everything. And then we come with our little label. Oh my God, if I feel like that, then it's not good. So that I found there is only one way to know what is true. And that is, I'm feeling something and my mind comes into play. Oh, this is not good. But I cannot trust my mind because maybe it's playing an old record. So I have to find another way to see what I can trust. So my way of trusting is I'm investigating, am I experiencing more or less? Am I more alive or am I more dead? Like that, that's not good. But if I'm, oh my God, what's going on here? I'm so alive. You know, oh, I don't like it. Well, that's a label. Wow, this is so incredible. Like when I was 5 years old, I'm running around. Everything's up. So it's just the label. Am I more alive or more dead?
So I get all that. I still don't, I'm still curious to get some practical tips on how to get there. So tell us maybe about your daily practice, or your daily practice as a Tibetan monk, or something that got you to that place, because it sounds wonderful as a concept, sounds pretty unachievable for most of us. So, you know, what is the journey?
Yeah, it's unachievable because you already have it. Get out of the way. And you will, if you don't try to get it, you're gonna find yourself, shit, I'm just sitting here by this table talking to this guy over here. Wow. And actually it's happening. I am actually sitting here talking.
So is it really cultivating just presence, meditation, and just bringing back to the present time and all the time and in the body experience?
Not even that. It's more like stopping the stopping of being here. You don't have to create being here. You're already here. But your mind have learned a lot of methods of discounting being here. The daily practice. Why? Do you think God do daily practice? It's not necessary. Daily practice, yes, when it comes to undoing misconception and misbehavior, blocking up, blocking ourselves. Those things we need to let go of. We need to let go of issues, not to create perfection. Perfection is already here. So our problems come when we try to create perfection. We try to take over God's job. I don't mean God as, religion or anything like that. Our source. We're trying to do a better job. Well, I cannot create life.
So what does a day in Arne's life, because I'm not going to let go. What does a day in Arne's life look like? What does a day in your life look like?
Being aware of what is, not creating.
So what does it look like? What do you do in the morning?
What I do in the morning, I'm awake. I'm aware that I'm awake. Okay, I have a body. I can feel my body. I get up. I go and have breakfast. I'm aware that I'm having breakfast. There is something having breakfast. I feel my emotions. I feel my experience. I have my calendar. I approach my calendar. I do my things. I enjoy it. There is no correction. There is only the experience of what is already. And breathing is fantastic.
Let's talk about COVID. Were you affected by the pandemic in any form? Were you managing to maintain this centering and grounding that you express, or were you, like most of us, including myself, caught into fear of death and things like that?
No. And the truth is, I'm very protected here in the jungle. So, but we have people and so on, and people who have it. I don't have the beliefs that any sickness or problem is fatal or permanent. Anything at any time arrived, suddenly I'm fine, bam, I have the symptom of COVID. My God, it came like that. Well, it can also go away like that. So I don't know if I've had it, But the way I work with any disease is I don't milk it. I don't, the more, what you focus on is what you get. So if you have a, you know, COVID is more powerful or life force is more powerful. Life force created you sit there and me sit here and think that I have a body or experience having a body. But I can't do that. I just find myself here. It's just like, wow, how come I'm here? I don't know how I got here. I was 2 feet tall. Now I'm 6 feet tall. I don't know how this works. There is something that is more powerful than my story going on here. To surrender to that with COVID, with the allowing, okay, I'm having some symptom, be nice to yourself, my God self, my source self, be nice, I feel tired, okay, lay down, or whatever I do, but I don't go, oh my God, maybe I have it. Well, maybe I don't have it, but I will create it with that attitude.
So you
I'm not giving recommendations here.
You never experienced fear?
In my life, yeah, I'm sure I have many fears. As I grew up, you know, speaking publicly was absolutely terrifying for me.
And now fear is not something that's part of your reality.
No, I love it.
I love when you say what you focus on, you attract, and actually you reinforce.
I would even say it a little different. What you focus on, you project. Because if you say attract, that means that shit exists even when you didn't focus on it. I say it doesn't exist unless you focus on it. You create it. We create it. We create what we see. You know, this rose smells terrible. No, this rose smells wonderful. There's something wrong with your nose. It smells terrible. Who's right? It's only the manipulation here. And if we can stop doing the manipulation and just be the witness, just like, wow, what's going on here? You asked me a question about COVID. Ah, interesting.
What's your relation to death?
Death. I've had death experiences, so I kind of personally know what death is.
What happened?
I had left my body 2 times and came back. So, and I know what happened in that other side.
Can you describe what happened? Like you had an accident or was in a ceremony?
Accident. So left my body, was looking down on my body, seeing the peace, the non-suffering, the just awareness, experience of what was, including seeing my body, and thinking, well, no, I'm not ready to go yet, and went back down again. So I know death is there is death. It doesn't even make any sense. Death means there is nothing more. Well, if there is nothing more, then there is no issue. If there is something more, well, then there is not death. So, again, the mind makes up so much crap.
Would you say that had a big importance or a big role in your shift of perspective and your approach to life? Those NDE, those near-death experience, did they craft your relation to the present moment?
It's a good question. When I had them, they were interesting, but I didn't have a mindset that could fit it into any particular understanding. So it was just an experience, and I didn't say, oh, now I know what death is, or no, I didn't do it like that. But then, through my Tibetan Buddhist years, I got a concept, I got a similar education. So then I remembered my experiences and how that is exactly the way they talk about the bardo and so on and so on. So it all, yes, that at that time it started to make sense to me. That part.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
I feel more excited about life now than ever. You know, it's really funny.
Arne, you're a renowned breath worker. You were coaching people. You know, what do you do these days? You know, because you're getting people to do get out of the way. That's kind of the end of the lesson, isn't it? What?
No. Okay, so that's a really good question. So before you can get out of the way, we can get out of the way right now, but it won't be transformational. So in order to have the transformational get out of the way, we have to build up the energy first. So through the breath work, we do the building of the breath work, which is the way, you know, so you end up with a lot of tingling. You end up with your body going zzz.
It's connected breath. You do connected breath.
Yeah, natural breathing, connected breath, connected, what do you call it? You know, the way the rebirthing started.
Nose or mouth breathing?
Well, where would you get more energy? Through the nose or the mouth?
Well,
try jogging through the nose.
There are both schools on that. Reversing will do through the nose, holotropic will do through the mouth.
Is one thing. Schools is one thing, reality is another. Okay, can you? There's no doubt I get a lot more air in through the mouth than through the nose. I mean, that's, so most of the, or a lot of the breathing teaching are appropriate, but they are intending to not give you too much experience. Because if you do get too much experience and you're not educated properly, you might freak out. So it's good, you know, do all these things that doesn't build up too much energy. On my hand, I feel like I can handle it. And so I am building up people energy to the max. And as soon as they get to that place where, oh my God, I have so much energy. Okay, get out of the way now. I call it the breathing cycle. It's actually natural. Like when you're eating, you know, you're hungry, you eat a lot, and then you're not hungry, you eat less, but you keep eating, and finally you can't eat anymore. And then you just sit there and you let the food, or you land, it comes by itself, but you land without control. So when you build up the energy, and then if you do not do anything with that energy, it will take control. That energy is the life force. It's the God self. That is my aliveness. If I do nothing with it, if I do something with it, I will disperse it and make it less. If I do nothing with it, it will take me on a trip, on a transformational trip. And I can't not know what that is. Because if I know what it is, then it's not new. It's just a repetition.
So what is the structure of a session with you, Arne? How long do we do the connected breath, and how long do we do the natural breathing?
It's a good question. First of all, I have a consultation, you know, what's going on, blah, 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 stirring the pot a little bit. So, like, oh, how are you doing? I'm fine. No. What do you mean fine? What do you mean? So stirring the pot a little bit. And then we do the natural breathing. The natural breathing, the 5 breathing basics, it's basically the rebirthing from the very beginning, the way I learned it originally. So you're doing the jogging breathing. It's really like that without moving. So you're breathing and you start to get energy. Full breathing in the chest, like you do when you're jogging, like you do when you're yawning, like you do when you're sighing, like you do when you have emotions. You cannot have an emotion through the nose. You cannot have an emotion and breathe in the belly. It doesn't happen in real life. So you build up that energy, and then um, um, you try to lose it. You try to not even try. You build up so much energy, you start to get foggy. You start to go, oh my God, I'm losing it. Yeah, well, you're laying down, so it's okay. Oh my, well, what's happening? What's happening? And then they go, and then the subconsciousness opens up. And then transformation, like, is the most amazing. People's lives change. No matter how much they understand, I like them to understand, but mother 10, and she, the transformation of by itself comes out. That is protected territory. It's the stuff I don't like. It's the stuff that I put away. I cannot go and open up the door because it's so locked. It's locked into my unconsciousness, my subconsciousness. I cannot, my consciousness cannot go into the subconsciousness. It cannot do. It can open up the subconsciousness where the subconsciousness become conscious, but not by fighting. Never by fighting. Always by, okay, you don't have to change. I don't have to change. Wow, what a realization. I feel much better already. You gotta change. Once you change.
So it's how you do 1 hour, half an hour of connected.
Oh, so depending on how good you breathe, but if you breathe really well, a good session, I would say, you do the jogging breathing, 25 minutes. It's natural. You feel it. And then automatically, as you take an airplane, you rev the engines, you take off, and a lot of effort on the takeoff. Once you hit the air, there's less effort, and you start to maintaining. You switch from building to maintaining, and you're just kind of soaring along effortlessly, looking at the world, or at your world. And finally, it's like, I'm done. I cannot, there is no more breathing left here. And so the 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and another 30 minutes of coming down.
And
so an hour and a half.
Do you get people to actually speak if you feel that they release? Do you get them to actually express what's going on during the landing, or just you let them breathe?
Or I would, if they start sleeping, I would talk to them. The purpose of talking is not to get them to understand anything. The purpose of talking is to keep them out of their mind.
So do you get them to speak?
Yes. It's not hypnosis.
To share what's coming up for them.
Not share, because that might take a lot of energy. Wait, oh, this is what, it takes energy. It takes me away from my breathing. It takes me away from my awareness. So my purpose of talking to them is to make them aware, not to make them aware of me.
Yeah, no, I understand. But you get them to speak about their journey, what's going on for them, if there is anything that's coming up, if they start crying and releasing, what's underneath that. Do you get them to...
No, if they're crying, they already did that.
So you don't get them to actually verbalize it and bring it to consciousness.
After the session, we can talk about it, but in the session, it already happened.
Okay. Arne, I want your take on breath retention. There's a lot of people, Wim Hof, Soma, a lot of practitioners are talking about the importance and the magic of breath hold, kumbhaka in pranayama, where you realign chakras and all. What's your take on all that?
Well, it doesn't happen naturally. It can only happen when the mind is involved. So, no. It's a mental construct, again, for the same purpose. This is, I rather face death than face my biggest fear, which is in my subconsciousness. So no, anything that is built on the mind's idea of that this is a good way is always a distraction. in my point of view. It takes us away from the transformation that's here.
Arne, what else would you like
for
to
asking.
Sorry?
Thank you for asking all these deep questions. They are so profound. I'm very excited about, very happy about it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you know, I have my own method, which is a mix of Wim Hof, connected breath, and natural breathing. So what I do is I do 5 minutes of connected breath, and then I do 2 breath hold, empty lungs, full lungs, and then I do 2 minutes of natural breathing. And I do that 4 times as a morning practice. So this gets me on the micro dosing, not huge release, but I start the day centered with myself. I do enjoy breath hold a lot, and I do enjoy very much the natural breathing more than anything. Like the 2 minutes of, okay, I get out of the way, which I got from you, really put me in a really happy state. You know, it's the euphoria that is following the dysphoria. And I really thank you for that, because that was a bit of a aha.
Yes, it's a snack. It's not the transformation. It's just, you know, I'm drowsy, 2 minutes of that, oh, I'm awake, but it's not a transformation. But exactly. If you do that same thing for an hour, if you do that, it is a transformation.
For sure. Maybe. And I'm not after the transformation. I'm after the daily practice that get me centered for the day. Because
but one day you're gonna die. Then what?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Can you take that exercise with you?
So how often do you still practice yourself, and how often?
Oh yeah. Practice. No, I don't do practice. I do sessions. I have an issue right now. I don't feel good. I'm stuck. Okay. Then I go to a natural breath practitioner, and I say, hey, I need a session. Usually I do 10 sessions to really get a good sense. So once a week for 2.5 do it once a so then
I don't know if it's you or me, but we are losing you, Arne. So guys, I put on the notes, as we are not hearing him anymore. We're putting all the notes in the webinar.
I heard you. Are you? Yeah.
I'm back. This is the beauty of live on Bali, where internet is sometimes not as reliable.
And Costa Rica.
Arne, is there something else you'd like to share with everyone? Is there another message you'd like to come across?
Yeah, that was something I've been thinking the last couple of days, is that when people do, tell me if this is appropriate or right, that when people connect with breath work, that they take a good look at what are they looking for. You know, what a serious look. I need a daily practice. Okay. Okay, then there are these guys over here. They do daily practice. You go over there. Or no, I'm feeling sick. I want to feel well. Then you need to do maybe a different kind of daily practice. But before you just, oh, I met this guy. He's the best in the world, and you know, I fell on his feet, at his feet, and now I'm his disciple. No. Go in, be real, consider, what are you looking for? Why are you doing this? Is this just another game to play with because you're bored with, or because you think you can earn the God self that you already are? You can earn a little bit more life force. You know, there's and the other topic is mind over matter. Yeah, mind.
From my experience, it usually comes from some kind of imbalance, whether it's sleep issues or an autoimmune dysfunction. So it comes from some kind of an imbalance, fear, sadness, anger, and people are desperate to find some kind of an answer. And breath comes across as one way that is one step closer to a spiritual practice than the other, you know, the gym or yoga. So it feels like, from my perspective, and I talk to a lot of people, they kind of feel that it's kind of a gateway to a more spiritual practice.
A gateway, but it's not the spiritual practice.
Of course, no. I always say it's meditation.
We're all
dummies.
sitting in the gateway. You know, we're all sitting on the gate, swinging back and forth, but we never get in.
Yeah. And I'm one of them. So, you know, for sure.
Yeah. So the attitude, I have an issue. I have immune system. I have an issue. I don't feel good. I have an issue. Okay. I don't want to have that issue. Now I have two approaches. Okay. Give me a hammer. Bam. I hit myself in the head. Oh, I don't feel it anymore. You know? So, but I just distracted myself. I didn't actually release it. Right. So the other way is, I have an issue. The issue is that who I am, and then I have to muster up a better reality, a better God, a better creator of the universe than God who already created what we got here. So I need to create something better, because what God gave me, or the source gave me, was feeling bad. So I can't trust that. So I got to find a better way. So that becomes a struggle forever. Instead of the way I use it is, I'm not feeling good today. How am I fighting my perfection? I'm looking at, I'm already perfect, but I don't see it because I am deluding myself with some shit. So now if I can become aware of that and let that go, then the God self shows up by itself. But most people, they try to create the God self. And you can't do that because it's already there. And it's a never-ending struggle.
Very wise words, Arne. So tell us.
So therefore, sickness is a gift. Disease is a gift, because it reminds you that you forgot who you are.
Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that any manifestation of the body is a message. And if you listen carefully, then you can see the blessing in disguise. Arne, tell us now, we're coming close to an end. Tell us how to work with you and how to reach out to you.
You can go to naturalbreathing.com. There is chat there. There is a lot of good information there. I'm open to any questions. I'm excited. I'm passionate about this. You know, so I share my understanding, my way of doing this freely. And yes, I have workshop. I have an intensive coming here in Costa Rica in April. I do sessions online. I do sessions in person. And there, you know, I hope we can do this again one more time, because there is another topic. And with rebirthing, when we started with Leonardo, when we started way back then, you know, there was always two topics. There was the breathing and the thinking. The thinking with Leonardo, he gave me a huge gift with that. Thought is creative. Thoughts creates results. So whatever you think, it becomes your reality. Now, and then the whole world of affirmations and all that came in. But breathing without dealing with the mind and learning about your own thinking, it's a halfway process in me. But breathing with the mind part, there is a miracle that not so many people know about, and I call it creative questions. That the mind is not what we normally think as a product of statements. I am this, you are that, this is a table. We think that is thinking. That's not thinking. That's only a small part of thinking. Why is this happening? Is that thinking? That has a huge impact. Why isn't my car starting? Shit, oh, it's bad car, old car, I didn't pay, blah, 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 blah. All this fuel is like a Google in here with the questions. the questions is magic. Learning how to deal with the questions is really phenomenal, equally good to the breath work. So there's two pillars that I love. And so go to creativequestions.com, you can read about it there.
Is that your site as well?
Yeah, creativequestions.com and naturalbreathing.com, and my name also on. But there are links between them, so you can find them.
Great, I put all that in the notes. And I thank you so much, Arne. I do agree. I always say I'm not teaching people how to breathe better, but how to listen better.
Ah, yeah.
And you know, it's easy to find answers. We go to Google, but where do you go to find questions? So
yes,
it's a good place to find questions. The breath. So thank you so
yeah.
much for all your wisdom, and I look forward to.
Thank you for having me.
In the training. This is always a pleasure to connect with you. And for those interested in exploring all the breath has to offer, I have a beautiful offering starting February 1st. It's a 6 weeks online, offline teacher training. And my approach is not to impose one way of breathing, but to get people to find their own breath, their own relation to the breath. Because I do believe that we all have, you know, our way of expressing ourselves. And for me, the breath was really the way that I came back to myself. And it's really the gift that I want to give people, is not to direct them in one direction, but just to let them expose to all there is to do with it, because it's really a magical practice. Yeah, that's about it. So breathing
between life and death.
Sorry?
The difference between life and death.
Exactly. All right, guys, have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much, Arne.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you later. Take care.